This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fight Store. Today I'm joined once again over Zoom, Stitch Duran. Stitch, I have to say, you're one of my most favorite people to ever talk to. So I'm very lucky to talk to you again. How you been? It's nice to see you again.
I've been good, Fred. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I would say I think I was one of your first guys to do your podcast. Now you're kind of reaching into the big numbers. So congratulations.
Well, have you been watching Stitch? You seen some of the interviews?
Hey, you're a good man. Yeah, good. You know, people like you and you ask good questions. So keep it up.
Hell yeah, thank you, Stitch. That means a lot, especially coming from you. But what have you been up to in the last 9 months, I guess, since we last spoke?
A lot of everything, working a lot of fights, filming my documentary, working on a new CBD product for cuts, filming the Creed 3 movie. What else you want me to tell you?
Creed 3. Let's do like Creed 3.
Yeah, Creed 3, just finished filming that about a month ago. And it's going to be pretty exciting. I think you'll like it.
How was it filming Creed 3 compared to filming Creed 2 and Creed 1?
That's a good question. You're the first one who asked that, but I expected nothing best from you. So, if I remember, I told you on the last one, Michael B. Jordan told me that he was directing Creed 3 and that I was with him as long as I wanted, right? But going into this movie, he did a tremendous job. Number one, the storyline is different. It's not your Rocky. It's a completely different storyline. Some great fights, probably the best coordinated fights I've seen. But Michael B. Jordan did a great job as a director and as an actor. And I asked him, I said, Michael, because I spend every day with him, Fred, just you and I. I said, Michael, when you're out there doing your fight scenes, are you looking at it more as a director or more as a fighter? And he says, more as a director, but that was a kind of mentality that he had. And yeah, they did a great job, man. I'm so proud of everybody that was involved in it. That
sounds pretty good then. I remember, I think it was the last Creed film, obviously Creed 2. You had one line. Do you have any lines for this film?
It's funny that you say that, right? Because I think on the first one, and when you get lines, you get residuals, right? I just got a nice check from Creed 1 and Creed 2, for saying these lines, right? But on this one, it was cool because Michael relied on me a lot on the authenticity, on making sure things were done in the boxing version properly. When they gave away a championship belt, they asked me who would give it away, and I gave them the history of how the belt was created, who it was created by. So I gave them that persona, right? So when they give it away in the movie, it's authentic. But no, I didn't get one line, but they mic'd me, and they let me say whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted.
Wait, how many lines do you think you have in this film then, Stitch?
I got plenty, bro.
Hell yes, Stitch. That's it.
There's even wrapping Michael's hands. We went through a nice segment on that, and so yeah, I'm part of the act, man. So then as I'm saying goodbye on my last scenes, Michael gives me a big hug and tells me, "Man, I love you, man. You did a great job. Thank you." And so yeah, just to be part of it is, that's the fantastic part.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good then. You're a movie star. The third time. Will you go to the premiere and the red carpet?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, well, that third time with Creed, but this is like my 7th movie, right? So I'm not an actor, but I've been blessed to be involved in these high-end movies, and now fight movies.
Did you go to the red carpets for the other 2 Creed films?
Yes. Yeah, I went through the whole gambit, bro. The red carpet, the interviews, watching the premiere, going to the after premiere party and signing autographs, and so yeah, the whole thing.
And I think you told me last time which boxers are in the film, but just remind me, which boxers are in Creed 3?
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to wait.
Okay, so it's not Edgar Berlanga.
Who?
Edgar Berlanga.
Edgar Berlanga was supposed to be in it. But on the fight before they started filming, I think he blew out his bicep. And yeah, so they had to get somebody else. And but I worked Edgar's first fight coming back, and but it was the movie was already, for the most part, almost done, at least on his part.
Is Victor Drago making a return in it at all?
Who's that?
Victor Drago, Ivan Drago's son.
No, but you know what? Somebody just sent me a message the other day that The Rocky franchise is thinking about making a Drago series.
A kind of spin-off series, yeah.
A spin-off series, but I had heard that before, right? Paul Querido, that was the Cutman for Drago, and the last movie was a friend of mine. I recommended him. He's an actual Cutman, and he's the one that told me about this months ago. So, you know, let's see if they use him like they use me, you know, and that's the thing in Hollywood, it's called continuity, where you just continue doing the same, you know, the same people, the same thing. And so let's hope that they use Paul Querido.
Just one last question on Creed 3. I understand that you don't say, you can't say too much, but is Sylvester Stallone in it?
No, he's not. Yeah, but Michael did tell me that, you know, he asked Sylvester for a cameo, and he said, no. He says, I'm not going to do it, but you're going to thank me later on down the road. And I can understand why, because it's a whole new spinoff. And this, like say, the storyline is tremendous. I went to do, I guess they're doing a photo shoot in LA. So they asked me to go and wrap Michael's hands and then the other actor that's involved. And at that time, Michael was telling me that when they were doing the editing, he goes, man, there were some parts that almost made us cry. And then there was a part that made us laugh that involved me, you know, so you're gonna have to watch that one. So.
That's nice. It's really nice to hear that you get so many more scenes in this one. As long as they don't get deleted, you never know. But it's nice to hear that you get so many more scenes in it and lines. It's nice. But tell you who I was talking to the other day. It's your old friend Jimmy Tibbs, who's a Cutman now. Do you remember Jimmy at all from the UFC days?
Yeah, of course. You know, but that's been let's see, I've been gone from the UFC like 7-8 years now. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, obviously he does boxing as well, but they're just talking about you, saying how much a nice person he was and you'd help him with it. So that's nice to hear. And just one other point I do want to talk on is, will you be coming over to England anytime soon? Because KSI is fighting again in August.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard. You know, is Vidal training KSI? Yeah, I haven't heard.
It's a different trainer now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I haven't heard, so chances are probably slim. I know I have some shows in August. I think, well, August 20th, I'm going to Saudi Arabia, and I'm doing the Badu Jack on the Usyk and Anthony Joshua undercard. So that should be an experience.
You looking forward to that? That sounds a nice little holiday there for you, Stitch.
Well, they're never holidays, you know, but it's nice to go over there and just see different worlds, right? But yeah, it is holidays. It's not even a job, Fred. You know, what I have, who wouldn't want to do what I do, right? Travel the world and work with the best fighters in the world and simple things like that, right? So, but to go to Saudi Arabia, it's you know, it's a different experience. I've been to the United Arab Emirates 3 times, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and just to see that different culture. You know, I've been to the Orient and I've seen that culture. I've been to, you know, the Soviet Union areas. I've been to those cultures. So it's nice to see different lifestyles.
Certainly. That is pretty cool about your job. I guess maybe one day, if I'm lucky enough, I'll experience it as well. If I go to other countries, then you'll get experience kind of different cultures and different lifestyles. So it'll give you a whole different kind of spectrum on things, which I think will be quite interesting. But I know you worked with KSI for, I think it's the second Logan Paul fight. What can you remember about that?
What, say it again, I'm sorry?
I know you worked with KSI for the second Logan Paul fight. What can you remember about that and being in camp with them?
I don't remember much about it, you know? But I got to say, KSI to me, just like Michael B. Jordan, I wrapped his hands every day, and I literally told him I was proud of him making that transition from I guess he's a rapper, right? Yeah. From
he's
whatever.
He's a rapper. There's a lot of things. Man,
yeah, see, I don't even know who he did. I don't even know who he was, but he went from that to actually being a fighter. And but yeah, you know, when he fought Logan Paul, it was big. You know, it's really, he's the one that started all this. Now you got Jake Paul that's a superstar, and you know, KSI really kind of did himself good. Anson Gibb, I gotta give him credit because he knew nothing about fights. I mean, the last man in the world. When I first saw him, I think, what's this guy doing? But he made that transition, even though he got knocked out by Jake Paul. He made that transition in training to become a fighter. And he was sparring. He was sparring like Mike Tyson, believe it or not. Really, I mean, and then he just got caught early.
I guess the game of boxing, you do get caught early. But I want to ask you a few questions about obviously being a Cutman. What do you think the best fight you've seen up close is, being Cutman, when you're in for one of the fighters' corner? What do you think the best fight you've seen up close is?
I've seen hundreds, bro. You know, I mean, I've been blessed.
I guess not the best one, but some memorable ones.
Well, let me tell you about Vladimir Klitschko, Anthony Joshua. That always falls on top of the heap, right? Because I didn't see Vladimir till Friday at the weigh-ins. I was in Crete. My daughter was getting married, so I didn't get there. So I saw Vladimir.
You're too busy being a movie star, Stitch. That's what it is.
What's that?
You were too busy being a movie star.
No, my daughter was getting married. That was a little bit more important, being a family man, right? So anyway, I see Vitaly and Vladimir. Let me mention that both Vitaly and Vladimir are right in the middle of the battle with Russia. So every day I send prayers to them and just wish that they did good. I was with them for 8 years, right? But I see Vladimir, and then I know that the night before a fight, these guys can't sleep. So I've been with them such a long time that I put my hand on him like this. I said, don't worry about nothing tomorrow. I'll take care of you like you're my son. And I leave. So right before Michael Buffer does the announcements, I'm putting the final Vaseline on Vladimir, and we're about this far apart, and nobody knows, nobody could hear it but me. And he says, you could call me son. Bro, I know I got into his mind, right? And one of the best fights he ever had. He lost to Joshua, lost his title, but one of the best fights he ever had. And he calls me later when I'm back in the States, and Daddy, and then, but months later, I see him in Germany. And I asked him, I said, Vladimir, that one moment, why? And very simply, he says, Stitch, he goes, there's very few people I trust in my life. You are one of them. So to me, I think that was very, very, very special. And we were talking about this, giving the belt away in the Creed movie, right? Mm. So I gave him the story with the WBC belt, which is the green belt, and I'll educate you a little bit also on this, was designed by the president of the WBC, Jose Suleiman from Mexico City. Mm-hmm. So I told him that story, that it's the most prestigious belt out there. Everybody wants the WBC belt, but it has to be given away by a Mexican, right? Because since it was created in Mexico. And so we're in Atlanta, we're filming in Atlanta. It's 53% black and the rest are white. And there's one guy, there's like 250 extras in the audience that were doing the fight scenes. And there's one guy that I see, and I went and spoke to him, that he's Mexican, he speaks Spanish, and he was in the Air Force like me, about my age, and he had a tie on and all that. So when Michael and them asked me who should give the belt away, I said, that guy over there, right? So anyway, going fast forward, I go when Earl Spence fights Yordenis Ugas. I'm working with Ugas, and I see Mauricio Suleiman, the son of the father. And I explained to him what I just told you on the belt, how we represented it to the tie extent. Well, Vitaly Klitschko and Vladimir were both champions for the WBC. So Mauricio says, well, let's take a picture and let's send it to them. And knowing that these guys are in war, in battle, right? So Vladimir sent me a response. You know these big computers. Where's the speaker at on this one, Fred? Is it in the middle? Is it on top? Or
your audio is coming off fine, Stitch. It's great. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you listen to this. All right. So this will. Very few people have heard this, but listen. Here we go.
My two favorite men, especially Stitch, with whom I spent so much time talking, and he actually saved my career on a lot of different stages. If Stitch wouldn't be in my corner, I would not make the record of 12 years being a champion. So that's so great to see you both, and Stitch is the man.
Pretty badass, huh?
That's pretty good to have.
Yeah, and the words are kind, but during the situation, where they're in the heat of battle, for him to get out of that fighter mentality and to go over there and give me this compliment. But we had great relationships together with these guys, and moments like this is why I enjoy doing my job.
Yes, certainly. I can imagine it must be pretty touching as well. As well, it must be really nice to receive. And just one last, I know I'm cautious of your time, just one last question about being a Cutman. Do you ever get, we scored probably one of the most requested Cutman in the game. Do you ever get kind of stressed out how many people are asking you to come be their Cutman for this weekend? And they're like rejecting offers, accepting offers. Does that ever get to you, being so busy all the time?
No, that's one of the things about me is see, I worked the corporate America structure before, so I understand the business aspect, right? But I've always been, to me, big things, communications and being on time are major subject for me. So no, I normally handle everything pretty good, bro. It's you know, I try to stay cool, calm, and collected, and you know, there's a system that I already have, and let's say they call me for an assignment that I'm already booked on. Well, there's a group of other cutmen that I work with that I know are at the high level that I'll recommend. And so yeah, it's a business, it's a system. I have it down to the T, and you know, I try to teach others to do the same.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good bit of advice. So I'll send this to some other cutmen then. And just one more thing. What's the next fight you're covering then, Stitch? What's the next fight you're at being cutman?
Well, you know, I'm supposed to do a top rank fight this on the 13th here, but my son is in the ministry, and he's graduating that weekend, so I got to go. I'm going to LA, but then I come back and then I go to Saudi Arabia, and I mean, God, I'm booked all the way till God, I think October 20th right now. You know, so I'm okay, bro. You know, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, booked all the way to October. That's quite crazy. What a calendar you got there, Stitch. Well, thanks so much for your time. I'm sure I'll catch you soon. We got more news about the Creed film, but it's always nice to talk to you, Stitch. Thank you so much.
All right, my man. So I continue growing the numbers, and you know, soon you'll be the main man broadcasting, bro. All right. I told you, man, it's not gonna be over till they offer you a big opportunity, and it's coming.
Maybe one day, Stitch. Maybe one day.
Of course. All right. God bless, huh?